So first to Germany, where the dust is settling on England's goalless draw last night against Slovenia, a result that ensures Gareth Southgate's team make the knockout stages as group winners. But questions remain over performance levels at these Euros. Let's get to Erfurt, the England training base, and our senior reporter, Rob Dorsett. Good afternoon. I've been reading an article you've written on the website, an app about the influence of Jude Bellingham on this England team.
Yeah, and Nick, it basically shows, if you look at the statistics, that the influence of Jude Bellingham has waned considerably over the period of the tournament. We'll show you those statistics in a minute. Just bear with me for a second, because I think anybody that's watched Jude Bellingham a lot for his club, for Real Madrid this season, will tell you about the spectacular impact he had in the first half of the season and how he was still very good in the second half of the season, but not able to reach those record-breaking heights that he managed in the first half. And I think that's very, very obvious here in Germany as well with his performances. And so, look, I think there's a really strong case for Jude Bellingham being rested for England's last 16 game in Gelsenkirchen on Sunday. I think it's important to say not dropped, specifically rested, because if Gareth Southgate is brave and is serious about winning silverware and winning this European Championships, which has been his stated aim and that of the players, I think they have to think that Jude Bellingham is exhausted. He's not playing at his full level, but he's so important to this England team. Can they rest him up and get him fit for later on in the tournament? It's a gamble, of course, because we're talking about the knockout stages and England could get knocked out at any point. But we're talking about a player here who has had so many accolades this season. The UEFA Young Player of the Season. He won the Copper Trophy for the best under-21s player in world football. He bettered Cristiano Ronaldo's stats and records that he broke at the Bernabeu in his early career there. He's the only reigning Champions League winner in this England squad. He helped Real Madrid to the league and cup double as well. He's also England's best player, and that's why I'm making this point. I think there's a debate that has to be had there about Jude Bellingham so far. Let's show you those statistics that I've been talking about, because I think it sums up exactly where Jude Bellingham is right now. And I've seen him throwing his hands up on the pitch an awful lot, unable to understand why he can't physically do what he's been doing all season long. So look, that game on the left is the opening game of the tournament against Serbia. The stats on the right are how he performed against Slovenia last night. And look, half as many dribbles. Look at the duels won. 10 of them in the first game, only 2 of them last night. He won possession 3 times and 2 times, okay. But look, he lost possession 16 times, Jude Bellingham, in that game last night. That is not Jude Bellingham. That is not like him. That was more than any other England player, more than any other player on the pitch last night. And look, 1 shot against Serbia. Of course, that was the winning goal for England. He hasn't managed a shot in either of the 2 games since. So look, I am not suggesting that Jude Bellingham is dropped. I'm suggesting that maybe he should be rested, and it's a significant consideration that Gareth Southgate should give it. Much more details, as you say, on the Sky Sports app in this piece that we've written. Do I think Southgate will do it? No, I don't. I think he'll pick his best players, whatever sort of form and fitness they're in, for the last 16 game. But I think there's an argument that Bellingham, because of his unique situation, having played 104 matches in 2 seasons, desperately needs a rest. And if they gave him that rest, maybe he'd come back stronger later in the tournament, assuming England was still in it.
And who else might conceivably be rested, dropped, rotated, however you phrase it?
Well, I think Gareth Southgate's grasping for something in the middle of midfield, isn't he? Declan Rice had his 3rd midfield partner in the second half last night against Slovenia when Kobbie Mainoo came on to the pitch, and I thought Kobbie Mainoo was really impressive, you have to say. His ability on the ball, his ability to get England going forward, to link up with Harry Kane and Phil Foden was really, really impressive, and probably one of the better moments for England last night. Probably one of the only high points, although I thought Phil Foden did okay, and I thought Mark Gay was outstanding again, England's best player of the tournament by far. So look, we've seen Trent Alexander-Arnold in that central midfield position. That's been scrapped as an experiment. Conor Gallagher came in for him, managed only 45 minutes. That was abandoned last night. Now it's Kobbie Mainoo. You do feel that Gareth Southgate is grasping to try and get that central midfield right. I think he may well stick with Kobbie Mainoo going forward from here. I'd expect him to stay with exactly the same back 4. As I say, England have only conceded 1 goal in 3 games. I didn't feel they really looked like conceding against Slovenia last night. So no problems in the defence, whisper it quietly right now. But that front 4, a lot depends on his choices with Bellingham. Will he go again with Phil Foden? if you rested Bellingham, Foden could play in that number 10 role. Maybe you could get Anthony Gordon on the left wing. I think Cole Palmer coming on the right wing was very impressive for his tournament debut. Looked sharp, created problems for that Slovenia defence, linked up with the rest of England's attacking players really well. He could be a good option on that right wing when England come to the last 16. But look, they've got 5 days. It's a lengthy break England have got to recover, lick their wounds, work out where they go from here, look again at the game plan, look ahead again at the personnel and go into the last 16 with a specific game plan, which I don't think we've seen so far from England. So let's talk more about this in the coming days. I think it'll change considerably.
We talk about the pressure of expectation. Have the expectations been ramped up even further by England winning the group and putting themselves on a much more favourable path, potentially, through the tournament than if they'd finished second and had Germany next up?
Yes, they've avoided Germany in the last 16 in Dortmund on Saturday, so they get that extra day. That's huge. And as you say, the likes of France, Spain, Portugal are all on the other side of the draw from an England perspective. So that's a huge bonus from an England perspective. But it looks like it's going to be Netherlands in Gelsenkirchen on Sunday for England. The permutations are very complicated, but the bottom line is it will be the Netherlands that England have to play in the last 16, unless there are a couple of unusual results. A scenario where a surprise from the Czech Republic or Georgia tonight could mean that England play them. There are also some outlandish possibilities in terms of outrageous results and scorelines where it could be somebody else, and Group E and Group F become very complicated because Group E is so tight and unpredictable right now. That will be resolved tonight. So England will know where they are a lot clearer, I think, by the end of tonight. But it does look like it's the Netherlands. And so the crucial factor there is, yes, the draw opens up for them, but if they can beat one of the powerhouses of European and world football, that's not going to be easy with the form England are in. Netherlands haven't been great. The fact that we're talking about them potentially finishing third in their group speaks volumes of that. But there would be a real challenge and a real threat. You would expect them to raise their game for a last 16 game against England. So that's why the England players and all the England fans and you and me, Nick, are all going to be glued to our screens this evening for the resolution of these other groups, Group E and Group F, because it's going to be fascinating to see what next is in store for England.